Hello, friends. How are you? How's things? How's life? I hope all is well. I hope everything is great. Look what we have today. Look what I have on my lap. Have you guys seen my bass? I don't know that you have. Maybe you've seen this one. It's been a while. This is my Squier Classic Vibes 70s P bass. I love this thing. This is my main baby. It's the bass that I pick up every day and play. I have it here because I bought some pedals, and I want to talk about one of them. But I'll show you what I bought. I have a friend who's leaving the country for a while, and he wanted to kind of purge a bit of his collection, and he reached out and said, hey, I got a bunch of pedals. Do you want any? And the main one that I saw on his list, he had the deluxe bass Big Muff. I've been wanting this pedal, so it saved me a whole bunch of money. He sold it to me for a great deal. It's not in the box because it's currently on my pedal board, and I didn't bring it down because it's just a fuzz pedal with some extra features. The other one is another fuzz pedal, but one that I'm really interested in. Both of the pedals, this one and this thing that I'm going to show you, are pedals that I'm more interested in for sound design. This isn't really something that I would consider like I'm going to put on my pedal board and use. This is a multi-wave distortion pedal, meaning that it has a whole bunch of multiband, foldback, octave options for fuzz, and it's all very controllable and EQable right here on the pedal. So this thing makes a whole bunch of crazy distortion sounds, and I want this more for analog recording. This isn't really intended to go on my pedal board. So interesting. Maybe we'll talk about it someday. I haven't messed with it a whole lot. I downloaded the manual and kind of went through it. If you have any experience with this is the Soundblocks Pro multi-wave from Source Audio. If you have any experience with this, please tell me how to use it. How do you like to use it? I don't know. I haven't heard much about it at all, which is one of the reasons I was interested in it. The reason I want to show you this pedal is because if you watch bass YouTube at all, you will know that over the last few weeks, MXR released a bass synth pedal, and everybody and their mother seem to have got one, and they're talking about it like it's the greatest thing ever, and I don't disagree. It sounds fantastic. This, however, is a little boutique, I guess it's boutique. I mean, it's a synth pedal from a company called Dedalo. This is the Byte bass synth. Here's the actual pedal. These look very handcrafted and like printed on a home printer kind of thing. But this comes from Argentina. It's a company in Argentina that makes pedals, and this is their bass synth pedal. And when he sent me the list of pedals that he had, those two, the Big Muff and the Multi-Wave, were the only two I really wanted. And then we went through a whole bunch of other pedals. This thing immediately caught my attention because I wasn't really interested in a synth pedal. Most of the ones I've ever seen were kind of, hopefully this will sound okay. Most of the ones I've seen are just synth, like that's what they do. They turn your bass into a synth. If you don't know what a synth pedal does, well, it turns your bass into a synth, like a key synth. Turn it on, you have a synth. This pedal, however, we plugged it in, and immediately I was sold because it has some like filter decay, bit crushing options that are sounds that I love to make when I'm working on a song in a DAW. And someday I'll release some of the music that I've written. But this thing is really, really cool. It's got, in addition to having the synth, so if you don't know, basically this is the signal that's coming out of this is not coming from my bass. It's coming from a synthesizer. So the synthesizer is listening. It's listening to the bass, and then it's making its own sound, right? But this does have a blend knob, meaning that I can turn the blend knob up, and now some of my bass is coming through. So I can get a mixed signal, and I absolutely love that. I think that is a wonderful little piece of technology. Just having that tiny bit of dry in there kind of sells it for me, because if you turn this all the way off, especially on some of these, like let's put right now I've got it set to like a normal, this would be a square wave. It just sounds kind of bleh. And just adding back a little bit of my bass. It doesn't even have to go all the way up. Just maybe, I'm like at 3/4 right now. You get a little bit of the note come through, and it makes it all make a little bit more sense. So this thing is actually phenomenal. It has 5 waves. You've got a square wave. I don't know what these are. There's the square wave that you just heard. Let's turn the blend knob off so you can hear what's next. This would be, it's a sine wave, but it's square. I don't know what that means. This is another version of the square wave. You have a sawtooth. Cool. You have a triangle, I guess. I don't know what this is. It's a neat sound. And then off. You can turn the oscillator off. And what I'm getting there is a sub/decay that I can... I love how it goofs up some. That's part of the reason I loved the pedal, because I don't know what's going on in here. It breaks itself up a little bit. It makes itself sound. There I have both oscillators. So it's kind of a dual oscillator. There's a sub oscillator, and then the sub oscillator has 2 settings. It has a square wave and it has a sine wave that's square. But you just see if I can get to do it again. There. Because it's taking my bass signal and processing it through an oscillator, it thinks it hears something that it doesn't hear. And so it causes these random glitches. And that's part of the reason I loved it, because it is kind of home built and makes funky sounds. And I love funky home built sounds. Other knobs on here. So it has two oscillators, the normal wave and a sub wave. It has this alias knob. The manual says that it adds subharmonics and it makes these spacey weird sounds, which I get. This is one of those things that, like, I feel like you don't really just set this knob and leave it. This is a play with it kind of pedal. Like, part of the reason this isn't on my pedal board is because, number one, I don't need synth bass for a funk jazz band. I mean, I could turn the blend all the way up and get like a, I could make it sound okay in a jazz band, but I don't need it. This knob, this alias/filter knob, this is the stuff that makes the kind of magic happen for me when it comes to doing weird IDM. Because I can use that knob like a toy or like a tool. The other option is there's this control knob that, when turned on, these three on the right, wave, sub, and alias, become start, decay, and filter. And they do a bunch of weird stuff. So this start knob seems to control, like, I would call that an attack. So if I turn it all the way down and I play let's play a C. It's got like it's breathing. If I turn it all the way up, it's immediate. I don't know if you can hear it through the microphone, but it's got a bit of a slow attack, and I'm assuming that's what the start means. And decay is kind of the same thing. It's more like a release. That's all the way up. It's kind of fading. And all the way off, it just kind of sustains a little longer. So, and here's the cool one. This is the fun part. For me, this filter knob, like a normal envelope filter. Turn it all the way off. Turn it all the way up. So based on your dynamics that you're playing, it adds a little funkiness. Now, this is the part I'm not sure how I'm going to use this because it does have a hold down function, which I can show you. I'm just going to kind of just make a noise. This will be an open A string. I love it. I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it. Am I sad that I didn't wait and buy the MXR? No. I think this little thing is kind of a little bit janky. And for what I'm doing, I'm not using this for like live play. I'm not doing anything, you know, crazy on a stage with it, but for sound design, for making pads and weird bass synthy sounds, but with this instrument instead of a tiny little MIDI keyboard, I think it's a fabulous option, especially with that blend knob, because I can get a little bit more note information in the signal, and I can still have that weird bit break, you know, bit destruction sound come out of it. I'm very, very happy with this thing, and I haven't done any actual like music, DA electronic music in a while. I've been focusing so much on the jazz that I've kind of let that part fade. But when I heard this at my friend's place, I was like, oh, I have to own that, because that's going to inspire me as soon as I sit down to start writing music again. I found as I was working on that electronic music that using my bass just didn't sit very well. It doesn't fit that style. And while I could have messed with it in the DAW and tried to add filters and stuff and do something similar to this, for me, there's something very visceral about you know playing this almost like it's its own instrument with the bass. It's a completely different thing, and I think I'll be much more inspired by this than just a plethora of plugins. But that's just me. I don't know. Again, that's the Dedalo Byte bass synth from Argentina. I don't know where you get this in the US or if you can, but it is wonderful to play with, and it's not an MXR bass synth, and I'm okay with that. Got any thoughts, questions, comments? Have you ever played one of these or know anything about it? Got some settings that you love and some ways that you use it? I'd love to hear about it. Thank you for watching. As always, I very much appreciate you. I very much appreciate all the positivity lately. It means a lot to me. Please subscribe if you haven't done so. I will try to do more bass stuff in the future. Is there anything you want to hear from me? Is there songs you want me to try to play, or specific bass-related topics you want me to cover? I'd love to hear about it. Down below. Thank you. I'll see you tomorrow. Today's 1,000 plus little things happy, successful people do differently. We are learning 20 things to start doing in your relationships. Number 3, give people you don't know a fair chance. Everyone has gone through something that has changed them and forced them to grow. If you give them a chance, you'll find everyone has something amazing to offer. So appreciate the possibility of new relationships as you naturally let go of old ones that no longer work. Trust your judgment. Be ready to learn, be ready for a challenge, and be ready to meet someone who might just change your life forever. I think this is important. Not necessarily the way that they described it in here. It's important to remember that anything new, there's growing pains with everything that we do that's new to us, whether that's a relationship or a hobby or a job. There's growing pains, and so dismissing somebody outright on first impression, you're doing a disservice, because there might be something valuable in that person. You just haven't spent the time to find it yet. And I think it's really important to be gentle. And I don't mean that to be like emasculating. It's important to be gentle in a way that is productive and that is humane.